is Sohani Fernando, and I'm a licensed clinical social worker and a mental health consultant. I have about 21 years of experience in the field, and I'd like to share with you some important things regarding children, the overall mental well-being of children and its importance. So when we talk about a child, and I mean this is an extremely broad topic, but let's think about the evolving child. We're thinking about conception to birth to a child's growth and development through the stages of life. So overall, what a mother does at conception, really it starts there. That's when a child really develops and grows with that connection to its mother. At birth, when a child is born, we always think, I mean, at least I used to think that when a child is born, the child comes with all of its organs in place and everything is developed to the full. But then you realize that actually there are things in your body that haven't formed yet to the full. For example, we're talking about the brain. When a child is born, the brain is not completely formed. Actually, brain development, highest brain development takes place between 0 to 5 years of age. So by the time a child is in kindergarten, approximately 85 to 90% of their brain is developed, which means that crucial time of development is the most important one in terms of a lot of things. The child's social development, emotional development, physical development, language acquisition, and so on and so forth. So when we think about that, we really have to think about, okay, so if that is the age category in which a child really it grows and develops as far in terms of its brain, then we really have to think about how much time are we spending with that child. So when we, just to not go into technical details, but when we look at our brain, for example, most of the brain cells are formed at birth. However, it's the brain, it's the cell, the connections, neuron connections that really is needed for a child to the trajectory of a child's development really matters with that connection, that neuronal connection. So for example, a child's experiences, what a child faces, what a child hears, what a child smells, what a child sees, all of that really matters to form those strong neuron connections. So adults, that connection between an adult, that one-to-one connection between a child to its caregiver. It could be their biological parent, which is what is the most important, but there are instances where a child does not have a biological parent. It's that one-to-one connection with a caring adult that is necessary for a child's optimal development. So it is so important for an adult to really have a close connection to a child. So when we talk about that, we are talking about from holding a child, from holding a baby, to speaking into a baby's life, to listening to its cues. When a baby cries, when a baby, what a baby needs. Is the adult attentive to the baby's needs? And that is what is needed throughout the child's life. Is that paying attention. A lot of children come into counseling. I'm also a counselor and psychotherapist. They come into counseling sessions saying, no one's listening to me. No one's listening to me. My mother and father are there in the house, but I don't feel like I've been heard. Or they will come and say, they have self-esteem problems because they feel like nobody really values them. So we are having a serious problem with children feeling like they're not worth anything, that they have a low self-esteem, that they're not being heard. And so we talk about the overall mental well-being of a child. Well, a child needs to know that there is a secure adult, an adult who's going to provide a secure relationship and attachment. Actually, there are so many theorists and scientists who studied this attachment, attachment from a child to a caregiver. How that attachment is really the key to that child's future development, and how the lack of it causes serious developmental delays and mental health illnesses. So if we really, if you really want to look into that, I would encourage you to look at the research surrounding institutionalized children who have grown up in a children's home or in a residential care, where that intimate connection to a caring adult is not there, because obviously in large institutions, the ratio between adult and children, you know what that looks like, right? We have a lot of children to one adult, or so because of that, a child does not get that one-to-one care. And so scientists and behavioral scientists have studied children in institutionalized settings and have come to the conclusion that there is a huge lack in development and growth, and the high prevalence of mental health disorders. So that is why it's so important to provide children with that attachment. Now also, some of the things I talk about the S's, the key. I have some key words that start with S that are, I think, really, really crucial for adults to pay attention to. One is self-confidence, self-worth, self-esteem. Those three words are so important to think about, because children are growing up to become teens, to become adults with low self-confidence. They don't have the confidence to go out into the world and be all that they can be. They have issues with their self-esteem, how they look like, what they feel like, is anyone considering me to be anything, how they feel about themselves is very low. There are so many tips I can share with you, but for this segment, that is all I have for now. I look forward to continuing this with you at a later date, because I have other tips that I want to share with you specifically around stress management for children. Thank you for listening.